All right, so if you are in residential real estate and you've been wanting to get into commercial real estate, but you're gonna go buy your first deal, you're kind of intimidated, you don't really know what to do, this video is for you. I'm gonna break down exactly what we look at when we're buying a deal, all the inspections we do, and then actually the components of the building that we look at when we purchase the building. So if you're new here, my name's Graham Story. I'm a commercial real estate investor and broker. We have a podcast where we talk all about this kind of stuff, and I have the YouTube channel where we document the deals we're working on, breakdowns about them, and how you can get into commercial real estate. So if that sounds interesting, hit the subscribe button. All right, so we're standing in one of the buildings we bought about 2 months ago. This is a lot nicer. But what your typical industrial building is going to have is you might have a front space like this. This was previously being used as a church, but a lot of times you'll have much smaller office space in the front. You might have a handful of restrooms, and in the back, you're gonna have a warehouse space. So here's the office area. It's got a handful of restrooms over here. This one actually has a kitchen because it used to be a church. And in the back, there's a warehouse, which I'll show you here in a second. All right, so we're in the warehouse space now. This is, like I said, much nicer because it used to be a church. Most warehouse space is gonna be a concrete floor. The walls are gonna look a lot worse. You're gonna have the ceiling. We're gonna go back in the office though because it's raining and it's kind of hard to hear me. So we'll go back in there. So what I'm gonna walk you through is what we look at when we're going under contract on a building from the moment we sign the contract all the way to closing. One of the biggest things you wanna check when you're in industrial real estate is you wanna check on the environmental status. So you wanna get what's called a phase one. What a phase one does is they go and they basically look at the history of the property and they find out what were the previous uses. They check if there was any kind of chemical manufacturer, maybe like a dry cleaner or anything like that, because anything that would flag a potential hazard, they'll make you go on and get a phase two. And what a phase two is when they actually come out and they drill into the ground and they'll test the soils. I'd say most of the time it comes back clean and you just stop there with a phase one. In our market where we're at, that's about $2,500 on a regular size deal. If you're doing a much larger deal, it could get more and more expensive. If you go into a phase two, it can go up to like 10, 20 grand. It can be a lot more money. So you're hoping it comes back clean. All right, so we do a lot of this stuff simultaneously because typically you're gonna have 30 days, maybe 45 days, and if you push for it, which we like to, 60 days in your inspection period, and some of this stuff takes a long time to come back. So the second we go under contract, we go ahead and order the phase one. After that, we're gonna order a PCA, and it depends on the building, but if it's a multi-tenant building, you wanna get a PCA, which is a property condition assessment, and basically they go through the entire building and they look at the mechanical components of the building, plus just the general conditions. So they'll check the electrical, they'll check the plumbing, they'll check the roof, they'll check the HVAC, and then they'll just inspect the property in general, and they give you a big long report saying, they'll come back and say, all right, here's everything that's going on, here's the stuff you should probably fix immediately, here's the stuff that's gonna need to be fixed in a couple of years. If there's a substantial issue, like let's say there's some kind of electrical issue, then generally they're gonna say, hey, you should reach out to an actual electrical contractor, have them come out here and check it. So think of this as like a home inspection. If you're in residential, you've been buying residential deals, this is basically like getting your home inspection, but it's for a commercial building, and it costs a lot more. It's about $2,500 to $3,000, depending on the size of the building, the asset class, etc. Now, why I say it depends is because the smaller buildings we purchased, we actually don't get a PCA. We just reach out to those different contractors individually. We'll reach out to a plumbing company, an HVAC company, a roofing company, an electrical company to go in and check the components of the building, especially if it's just a single tenant building. It's way cheaper that way. The roofer a lot of times will be free. A lot of these things will be free, or they'll charge you like $150 to come out and check it. And so it's way less expensive. But if you're buying a larger deal, you want to be safe. You want to cover your butt and you want to get the whole PCA done. And the third thing is we get a survey. You want to make sure you get a survey. It can be very tempting not to do it. But what a survey does is they're going to go out there and they're going to measure where your property's at. They're actually going to go out there and mark your property lines. And they'll check for things like easements that you don't know about. Maybe there's like a utility easement running behind the building that power lines are going over. Or maybe there's a shared parking lot and there's a cross-access easement and you have to know who's responsible for the parking lot. It checks for anything like that that could be a red flag and could cause you trouble in the future. A lot of people don't like to get them, but we like to always get it just to be extra safe. You never know. Sometimes also you can uncover extra land that you might not have known was part of it, and they come in here and measure and you get a little more land than you thought. It doesn't happen every single time. We've heard of that happening. Survey, everything seems to be around $2,500. Survey is also about $2,500, maybe $2,800, depending on how big. If you go much larger, like that's for just a regular building on maybe like an acre, you're gonna go up to 5 acres, 10 acres, it's gonna get more and more expensive. We haven't done that, so I don't know exactly the price, but you can get a quote from a surveyor.
All right, guys, we have a huge announcement. We are launching our first ever cohort. We get messages every single week from people asking us about our strategies, our tactics, and the methods that we've used to buy all the buildings that we've bought so far. And I found myself repeating the same phone calls with people asking the same questions over and over again. And I realized I could help a lot more people at one time if we just all hopped on a call together and everyone could learn from everyone asking questions. If you listen to the podcast, you know who we are. You know that we're commercial real estate investors, brokers, and we've also interviewed almost 100 incredible guests who have given us so much knowledge and so much wisdom. We bought 9 buildings in the last 18 months and we got 2 more under contract. We're in the trenches every single day and we're going to share with you everything we've learned so far. So here's what we'll cover. We'll cover mindset and goals, commercial real estate versus residential real estate, choosing your asset class and your buy box, deal sourcing, underwriting, leasing, financing, everything from letter of intent all the way to closing and afterwards. And we'll give you real case studies from the deals we bought and the ones we have under contract. So if that sounds interesting to you, we're going to start in early June and we're going to limit it to 10 spots. If you're interested, click the link in the description to apply and we'll see you on the inside.
So those are the three major things that we like to do. Aside from that, we'll get pictures ordered in case we need to do marketing. It's always nice to just do it while you're doing the inspections, especially if there's a tenant. Maybe you don't need them now, but you could just say, hey, look, we're getting the building inspected. So it's like you only have to bother them that one time with all those people coming in and the photos instead of like in a couple months doing it out of nowhere. You could just get the photos knocked out. We get a floor plan done. You can call somebody like off of next door and they'll come in here and measure it. It's not going to be the most accurate because they use their phone and they walk around. What a lot of people we know do is they get a BOMA. And a BOMA is like an in-depth floor plan where it's like that's the standard, but it's way, way more expensive. Me and Jesse have not done that yet. We just do the regular floor plan. And sometimes if it's a square building, we'll just measure it ourselves with tape. But you want to make sure you get a floor plan and make sure you get measured because almost every time the tax records are going to be wrong. And if you're using CoStar or Crexi or something like that, it's also going to be wrong. Prime example of this building, I think they thought it was like 20,000 feet. It's about 22,000. Those are rough numbers, but we got more square footage than we anticipated. So if all this stuff sounds interesting, be like, man, that's a lot of stuff I have to remember. I've got a checklist you can download in the link below. So the very last thing you want to make sure you do when you put a property under contract before you close on it, obviously is secure the financing. So if maybe you're doing seller financing, that's a lot simpler. You just have your attorney draft the documents. But if you're doing bank financing, you need to make sure you're on top of all this stuff immediately because the bank is going to order an appraisal. That's going to take 3 or 4 weeks. And the bank is also going to want a survey, which is also going to take 3 or 4 weeks. So if you go under contract on a building and you got 30 days in your examination period, you waited to call a surveyor on the 31st day, you find out there's some major issue and then you go to back out. In commercial real estate, you have earnest money and the earnest money is refundable in that first 30 days during your exam period, but after that, it's not. So you need to make sure you're on top of this stuff. And also when you're putting a property under contract, you want to try to get a longer due diligence period. We always shoot for 60 days. We've even sometimes got 90 days. You want to give yourself a long runway. And then after that, you're going to be closing within 10 days to maybe 30 days. That period is basically just to tighten up the financing, make sure everything's good. All this stuff you want to get on top of immediately. As soon as you go under contract, you want to start on all this stuff to make sure that you're not losing earnest money or to make sure that you're not going to drop the deal and then you're in a bad position and maybe you need the seller to extend, but they don't want to. And because of that, you lost your earnest money or you lost the deal. So hopefully all this has been helpful. This is the actual stuff we do every single time we put a property under contract and actually go through with buying it. So some of these things correlate directly with residential, like getting an inspection, getting a survey, making sure your financing is in order. So honestly, commercial is not that much more difficult. You just need to make sure you know what you're doing. Get yourself a mentor, get somebody in your market who's buying commercial real estate, ask them how they do their process. And like I said, if you're interested, I've got a checklist in the description below. Be sure to grab that. And if you're new here, subscribe for more videos like this. And thank you so much for watching.